love story.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Love Talk Show. Tonight is couples night. We have here this special couple. Welcome Pastor Philip, welcome Chris. How are you guys doing?
Very well, Pastor.
Ready to share your testimony?
Yes.
Ready.
Very powerful testimony,
Very
right
strong
Mila?
testimony.
We were talking to them a little bit here, and I know his testimony from before, and he was telling me even more details. Very powerful. If you didn't know, Pastor Philip met his wife in the world before coming to the church. And in this relationship, you were not married. You got married later on in the church, right?
Yes, Pastor.
You were just together. And you used to betray her, cheat on her for 3 years.
Yes, Pastor. Consecutively 3 years.
3 years.
Yes.
You know,
And nobody knew, Pastor.
nobody knew. You
Nobody.
knew how to hide
Yes.
very well, huh?
Yes, Pastor.
Chris, you didn't know. For 3 years, you've been...
Yeah,
Cheated on.
I could see some signs, but I didn't
Wow.
understand.
Wow. They're going to share their story. An amazing, powerful story, full of lessons. I'm sure we're gonna learn a lot of lessons here together. And stay with us. Let me ask you for a favor. Tell your friends about this program. Send the link, the Liberty Radio. Tell them to connect on the app right now. Send them a message. You know, the singles, the couples. You couple is very powerful. This story, I'm sure, is going to help your relationship. What they overcame, I'm sure, is going to help in your relationship as well. So, who wants to start to talk about your past, your background? Philip, you want to go ahead?
Yes, Pastor. No
Go
problem.
ahead.
Yes. So I grew up in church, Pastor, in Universal Church. My father and my mother came to the church and brought me together because problems in her love life. My father was addicted in alcohol and prostitution as well. And he was living already on the streets like a homeless because of the addictions, drugs as well, and the debts. He wasn't coming back anymore to house. He starts sleeping outside of our house for a night, and then 2 nights, 3 nights, until the point that he stopped. He never come back to house. And then my mother, I remember I was a child, 6, 7 years old, and my mother knew the Universal Church, and she went. And I grew up there. I saw the love life of my parents be restored. My father came back home, and he was delivered from addictions, from prostitutions, and until today they are together. They are over 40 years married, and they are servants
Happy.
of God. Happily married.
They're in the presence of God.
Thank God. Yes, going to the church.
And you were 7 years old, 6, 7 years old. That's when you came to church. You
Yeah.
saw all this happening, this testimony.
in the life of my mother and my father. And when I got about 18, when I start uni, to be very precise, I start.
Look at that. Oh, singles. Singles. Careful. Careful. So you were in the church since you were 7 years old.
Yes, Pastor.
You went to uni.
Yeah.
That's when
Everything starts.
the devil made you fall.
Yes, Pastor.
That's where everything started. So careful, singles, careful. Very careful, huh? So you were 18.
Yes.
And what happened?
I met her in a party there, in a lunch. Was family environment there, an event that had there, and I met her. We start talking, and I conquered her.
In uni.
No, outside of uni. I was in the period of my uni, but I was in a feast there, an event that I went there on a Sunday. It's like a lunch, a Saturday, isn't it? A lunch, like a barbecue there. I don't remember exactly what was that, but I met her there for the first time, and I invite her to talk, and we start talking. In the very beginning, she was kind of resistant, but thank God I could convince her to give me her email at the time. She didn't give me her telephone in the very first moment there.
Just email.
Just email, yes. And then we start talking, and then we end up dating. I call her and I propose her, and we end up dating.
And at this time, you were not in the church.
No,
you had
I-
left the church.
I have already left the church because of the uni, because of bad companies, because of the parties. I was already involved in the world. I have despised the altar already, Pastor. And then we start dating, and the first 3 months, the first three years of our dating was sounding like a perfect relationship. She used to call me Prince.
Yes.
So it was like a fairy tale.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly, Miss. And everything was perfect. But at the end of these first 3 years, these first 3 years, we start having some problems. Our differences, we are different until today, and our differences start to become something very, very unbearable. She was very aggressive, the way that she was speaking with me. I was very, very hard-headed, when my will, my way, what I want. And we didn't know how to deal with this difference. We were kind of young, the earliest 20s, and we didn't know how to deal with that. And the way that I managed to just put it out, to relieve that pressure, because I didn't want to lose her. I was loving her already. I liked to be with her, though the problems. When I was, that thing that normally happened. When I was far, I was missing her. But when we were together, was a war. And what happened one day, in the uni, I was like lamenting my relationship with a friend.
Hold your thought.
Okay.
Hold on there, okay? Hit the pause there.
Yes,
okay. All right. Suspense.
Okay.
Okay. Let me talk to Chris a little bit. And you, Chris, how was your childhood? Different than him, you were not in the church. You
No.
didn't know the church this
No.
time, right?
No.
How did you grow up? How was your
I grew
background?
up in a broken family. My parents got divorced when I was 9 years old. And I started having problems because my father was suffering with the divorce. And
Do you remember the reason why they got divorced?
because my father wants to work abroad. That time he was working in Japan,
Okay.
and my mother didn't want to for
Okay.
this because he was leaving the family, everything, to work, and she was thinking that okay, he can go, but he needs to come back after this time. But my father chose to be abroad, working abroad. Yeah.
So because of work reasons, the
Yes.
schedule,
Yes.
they couldn't come to an agreement.
Yes.
No one wanted to
Yeah.
to sacrifice,
Exactly.
to compromise, and they ended up getting divorced. You were 9 years old,
Yes.
and you said your father suffered.
Yeah.
A
My
lot.
father suffered because my mother asked the divorce,
Wow.
and
Okay.
I didn't have the father with me because of it. I was seeing him just once a year because every time that he looked at me, he was seeing my mother.
Right.
So remember everything that happened. So he didn't want to see me.
Right.
So I start having these feelings. I'm not good enough, and don't have family. My father don't. I was feeling rejected.
Blaming yourself.
Yeah.
Right. So every time he would come around, your mom was there,
Yeah.
so he couldn't have quality time with you.
Yeah.
Right.
And she was saying that he saw her mother in her, right?
Ah,
So
okay.
we would bring all the memories, all the divorce, all the sadness all over again. So
Exactly.
he didn't want to be
Yeah.
not even near her.
So he started rejecting you
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
Wow. And that's how you grew up. with these rejections, and then how did that affect your love life?
So I became like a depressed child. Like I was happy with everyone, with the family, with the with friends. But when I was getting home, I was sad. I was feeling to, okay, I will end up my life because, yeah, nothing. I don't have a reason to live because I am rejected. I'm already rejected. And this thoughts was more often in my life. And then I met one boy, and I was 12 years old. And the first date that I have, and I say, okay, I found my father because he was older, 5 years older than me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were 17.
Yeah.
You see, friends, when a person, Mila, especially a girl, she grows up without the father, normally she ends up making poor choices when it comes to boyfriends.
Exactly.
This is a pattern that we see when a young lady, a girl, she grows up with in a fatherless home. She's always going to pick a weak man. Is most certainly she's going to make a poor decision when it comes to choosing men because she has no reference. She doesn't know better. She doesn't know what a man is. She doesn't know how to choose a provider, a protector. Because she doesn't have the example of her father to mirror, to use as a reference. And this is what happened to you,
And
right?
they usually try to find someone to kind of replace the father.
Replace.
See, that's why she chose someone older than her, because she wanted to fulfill
Yeah.
that
So
need.
so they start a relationship for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
So you didn't start a relationship because you found the one you loved. He was the perfect fit for you. It was more like you were needy, right? You were empty inside. You just wanted someone, a male figure in your life. That's all you wanted. You wanted your father back. You didn't want a boyfriend. Not at 12 years old. You wanted your father, right? So, and what happened in this relationship? He was 17, you were 12.
Yes. So
My God, huh? Hey,
Yeah.
Philip.
Yes, passes.
Huh? You need to call the cops, right? You need to call the
1 year
police.
from
Yes,
being
pa.
illegal.
Yes, passes.
Yes. So, what happened?
yeah. So
Also, Philip was here just calling here calling the
FBI.
cops here to come after this guy, right? 17, 12. And what happened, Chris?
So this relationship ended up. He betrayed me. He cheated on me, and then was a big problem because when I found out that he was betraying me, I tempted us to kill myself for the first
But
time.
how long were you together for?
4 years.
It's a long time.
Yeah,
And then when you find out that he is cheating on you,
yeah.
so you try to commit suicide.
Yeah, so I took all the medicines. My mother used to work in a hospital when I have
Wow.
a lot of drawers, with a lot of medicines there, and I took everything to kill myself.
Wow.
So you took all the tablets.
Yeah,
Wow. And thank God, right? You couldn't do that. By the mercy of God. Praise God, right? God had a plan for you,
exactly.
right?
No.
He held you there alive, and you broke up with this person,
Yes.
and then soon later you found Philip, right?
Yeah.
You
So
found your prince,
my prince. Yeah.
how I used to call. But he wasn't a prince yet. He was a frog.
Yeah, he was a frog, pastor. After 3
Became a
years.
frog. Yeah.
After 3 years, the prince became a frog.
Yeah, she figured out.
Actually, he was already a frog, Chris. He was already a frog, disguised as a prince.
Yes.
Right, Philip?
Yes,
he
right,
was
Pastor.
so
Unfortunately.
he was romantic, give a lot of gifts. Yeah.
All the things that women are looking for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
attention.
Attention. He was jealous, protector. I couldn't study. He was like in front of the door of my class in my uni every time because he was protecting me. No,
Not every time.
it's mine.
Another week.
Okay,
No, yeah.
It's mine.
very well. So you had 3 years, everything was good, but you see, and I'm sure it was good. 3 years, right? You were very romantic. How did you conquer her? Let us know, Philip. Tell us the secret, because I know there are guys watching us right now. I know there are guys watching, and they want to know what did you do?
Was simple, Pastor. When I saw her for the first time, I noticed that she called my attention, and I noticed that she looked at me, and when a person has eye contact, and immediately she broke the eye contact. I said, no. I saw you seeing me, and
You're looking at me. I saw.
I saw you look at me, exactly. And she was there, sit down with her family. Very delicate situation to approach a woman, a girl at the time, with her family. And I asked a friend of mine to call her to come out of the table. Come on, don't be there. Come here. We are having conversation here. Was a lunch time there, song, etc. The environment there was helping, and I just invite her to come out of the table. When she came out of the table, I didn't waste any second. I just approached her and I said, "Look, come over here."
I didn't want, Pastor.
She
but
didn't want to talk to me.
My
Mother-in-law.
my mother-in-law said, "Go, Chris, go. Just speak with him."
Go. Yeah, because
Just to speak with
I
him.
said a friend of mine said to her, "Oh, can you see that guy there? He wants to talk to you, and he's invites you to come out of the table because he cannot come here and just, oh, excuse me, I want to talk to you." And she said, I don't want. And her mother-in-law was there and said, "Oh, go, give a chance." And she came, and I didn't lose this chance.
Wait, so her mother-in-law is your...
No, her mother-in-law. Her father got married. With
okay.
another.
No.
Stepmother.
Yeah.
Stepmother.
Oh, stepmother. Sorry.
Stepmother.
Yeah,
I
stepmother.
couldn't remember
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Stepmothers. I'm so
Okay,
sorry.
yeah.
Her mother-in-law will be
Because
her mother.
I was thinking, did he use his mother to go there?
Yeah, no.
So
I'm so sorry.
stepmother.
My,
Yeah.
my stepmother.
okay.
Stepmother.
Very well.
Yeah, her stepmother helped me without knowing me. And then I approached her and I start the conversation like, "Oh, I saw you. How are you?" And I said, "I'm okay." I said, "Look, I would like to." I went straight to the point. I would like to know you better. And could you give me your phone? She said, "No." I said, "Why not? We are here. What's the problem? Are you dating?" She said, "No, I'm not dating, but I know I just came out of a very difficult moment in my love life, and I'm taking some time now. I don't want to get involved with this that soon." And I said, "No problem. I understand you. Just give me your contact." I insist in the phone, because give me your contact. Let's talk. We don't need to do anything. I just want to know you better. And she said, "No, I don't insist because I'm not going to give you my phone." I said, "Okay, what about the email?" Because you don't want that close contact. No problem. The email, I'm going to send you an email. You reply when you want. And she said, "Okay, I'm going to give my email." And said,
You see, the insistence,
Yeah,
perseverance.
yeah.
You see, guys, here, Shad, this one. Guys, are you taking notes? Are you taking notes, guys? Look at this. So she said no,
"No,
right? You use her stepmother,
yes,
and many times you say, "Okay, I understand, I'll give you time. I'm not going to give you my number. How about the email?" And then she gave the email.
yeah." There is a
That's all you needed.
There is a saying that everybody says, Pastor, "Oh, the no is, I have the no already. Let me try the yes." And I said, no, no problem. I can deal with no's. And I'm going to transform this no in a yes. This is a different approach. And this is what the man of God, especially the man of God, must have. Come on, I saw you, and I will get married with you. This is it.
Yeah.
The ladies likes, Pastor. They
So you had attitude. You
yes.
Yes, you conquered there. And Chris, you didn't want.
No. But I can tell what caught my attention in his attitude. His attitude.
His attitude, that's what caught your...
Not this one, but
Okay.
what caught my attention was the moment that we couldn't see in person each other for a long time, and he said, "I'm gonna travel," because I was in the beach, and he said, "I'm gonna travel to see you, no problem."
Our first dating, Pastor, was like this. I sent her an email, and 2 weeks later, she replied my email, and I replied back, and we started a conversation by email. And I said to her, "Look, it's unbearable. We need to talk. Let's develop."
How long
it."
did you start? Did you just
I think
go
1 month.
change emails?
So it
1
took
month.
you 2 weeks to respond to his email.
Yeah, the first email was 2
Yeah.
weeks. Afterwards, we talked through a whole month, and then I conquered her telephone number, and then we start talking via phone, and I said to her, "I want to see you. I want to see you," and she said, "No, I'm traveling this weekend. I'm gonna see my father, and we are going to a beach, and it's kind of far from here." I said, "No problem. Where is it?" And she said, "Oh, it's there." She said, "It's the name of the city there." And I said, "Okay, just give me the postcode. Give me the address." And she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "No worries. I'm not gonna do anything that you will not gonna like." And she said, "Okay." And then suddenly I call her and say, "Look, I'm here in the shopping mall of this city, and I want to see you now." And she said, "Okay."
"Oh, I'm gonna see you." And I asked my stepmother, because
Again.
she was like the one near of me that time. So I remember
Another
that
lesson
boy.
here for the guys. Another lesson. You need to conquer the parents,
Yes.
right? You need to conquer the parents. Am I right?
Yes.
You need to conquer the parents, my friend. Look, I remember before talking to my wife, I called your father, right? I called your father. And even to this day, her father, when he calls, who he wants to talk to?
He talks more to him than to me.
Look at that. Her father calls, he wants to talk to me. Yes. You gotta conquer the parents as well.
Yes,
because you conquered the stepmom, she helped you all the way.
All the way, Pastor.
From beginning to end until you...
Until today, if I need.
Until today, if you need any help, you just call.
And then, Pastor, what happened at the moment? I wasn't in church. I was trying to do everything right, but when she came to the shopping mall there, we didn't speak a word. I said, when I saw her coming, I said, "Now she's mine," and I kissed her immediately, and she said, "Wow, what is this?" And I think this is what stood out for her. The
Yes,
attitude was
very
that.
bold.
Yeah,
Yes.
very bold. He was very bold.
And that's what caught your attention.
Yeah, because he needs to travel to see me. He was like insisting. I was thinking, could you wait for me to come back and then we see? No.
So
I'm here.
he gave you a lot of importance,
Yes.
right? He made you feel important,
Yes.
right? That he was really valuing you, fighting for you, going after you, being patient, waiting.
Yes.
All these things make a difference. And even in the relationship, Philip, you mentioned that he would wait for you after class. He would be by the door
Yes.
of the uni, the class, waiting for you.
Yes, Pastor.
So you would step out of the class, he was already there
Yes.
and hold you. Oh, she's mine.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a weak spot, Pastor, the jealous. Because one important detail, Pastor, I was doing this even against my friends, the friends of that was walking with me at the time. They were telling me, "Come on, you don't need to do that. It's a lot of girls around you. You can have any girl that you want. Why are you investing so much in this one? Because you are showing weak to her. You are giving everything to her." But I have learned to value the woman in church, because I grew up in church. These values of faith, to treat a woman of God with this kind of respect, invest, give the right treatment, the right attention. I was applying what I have learned from the Bible, from
And what you saw in your parents, which
Exactly.
God helped in the church.
for sure, Pastor.
Right? What you saw there, how your father treated your mother,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what you were applying. Even though you were not in the church.
Mm-hmm.
Shads, can you put this one? Even this camera here, yes. Even though you were not in the church, what was happening? You were applying the things you
Principles
learned.
that I've learned, and I was expecting, and here is the beginning of our problem, because I was giving what I have learned. My background was a biblical background, was a Christian background, and I had the father figure, the mother figure in my house. The environment of my house was a peaceful environment, respect. Even my mother was teaching me things about the respect of the father, even in food. As a child, my teens, I was there. Oh, give me this beef, or give me this sweet, this dessert here. And my mother, no, this belongs your father. You cannot touch what is not yours. Your father first. When my father was coming from work to have a dinner, I was hungry and I said, oh, let's eat. Let me give something. Let me have something. My mother, no, your father is coming. Let's wait for him. And I had this whole family structure inside of me, from the Bible, from my own house, and I was investing, giving my best to her, with the strength of my arm to her, and obviously I was expecting from her the same principles, the same mindset, the same understanding. But she never had that kind of thing in her house.
She didn't grow up in church like
And
you.
let alone the spiritual principles, the biblical principles. And here is, I can tell, Pastor, when somebody's in church and thinking, there is nobody in church for me, let me look for somebody outside, I'm gonna get they converted, I'm gonna bring them to the church, etc. Don't do that, because you're gonna get frustrated. I end up cheating on her because of this frustration, Pastor, because she didn't have what I was expecting. Yeah, and it wasn't her fault. It was my fault.
Even though you were not in the church,
Yes.
you had the standards. You wanted a woman of God,
Perfect, Pastor.
right? You were not a man of God yourself.
Yeah.
By the way, you learned these things, Philip, but because you didn't have a relationship with God, right? Even the things you learn in the church since a young age, it didn't work,
Yeah. Yes,
right?
Pastor.
It was useless because you were the one, right? The one who grew up in church that was cheating on her.
Yes, exactly.
You
Pastor.
see, when you don't have a relationship with God, when you don't have the Holy Spirit, right? When you are not born of God,
I was trying to do exactly what many people try to do: have the best of the two words, the best of God and the best of the world, and it never gonna work, Pastor. Never gonna work.
it didn't work. So now we can go back to the part. So 3 years, everything was fine, apparently, right?
Yes.
You were not living together. You were dating.
Yes.
So you used to see her once a week in the weekends.
Pastor, in the first 6 months, we were already meeting each other on Fridays and being together the whole weekend. Sometimes traveling together, and she was coming to my house of my parents, and she was sleeping there, I was sleeping in her house. We had a marital life very soon, very, very, very soon in our relationship. I would say in the very first 3 months, we were already so involved, too involved, that we were living like a marriage couple.
Although you were not living the same house.
Exactly.
You used to live with your parents. She used to live.
Yes.
But in the world, you were having
Yes.
a relationship like a married couple.
Exactly, Pastor.
And this lasted 3 years.
Yes.
Everything was beautiful 3 years.
Exactly.
But when you don't have God, when you don't practice intelligent love, when the presence of God is not there, problems start to show very, very quickly, right?
Yes, Pastor.
So what happened? You were frustrated.
Yeah.
you wanted a standard from her you didn't have, and you started having problems, and the solution, and then that's when your friend came and he started giving you a
Yes.
device.
Yes, what happened, Pastor? These 3 years that everything was being okay, already things was starting to disturbing me, disturbing her, and fights and disagreements, and even really, really bad shouting on the other. We never end up being physically aggressive, but verbally was there, and I was so frustrated that one day I was there at uni in my doing my course there, and was notable that I was sad. And then this friend of mine, the female friend of mine, come to me and said, "What's going on? Why are you so quiet today?" And said, "Oh, I'm having problems with my fiance at the time. I was already asked her, proposing her to get married with me, and what's going on?" And I explained, and she said to me, "Let me help you." And she brought me to out of the class.
Was a female friend.
Female friend, a woman, a married woman. Let me help you. And I said, "Well, what are we gonna do?" Because we were friends, like normally friends for 3 or 4 years already in the course in the uni. I never had anything with nobody, and she knew that I was fiancé, etc. I was engaged actually, and she let me help, and she brought me out of the class, and we went to a place there in the uni, and she just kissed me, and I said, "What's going on?" She said, "No, are you frustrated of your love life? Let me give you something that you're gonna be happy."
She was married.
She was married. Yes.
Wow, what a mess.
And that day,
Christian.
a Christian. Yeah.
Very Christian. Of
Yeah. I can even say
Christian like the devil.
Yeah. She was Christian, and she was from another church. Well, obviously not universal church. Was very active in her church. Even have some title there in her church. Yeah. And but this is another point of the story, how it can be a trap. Think, oh no, it's a Christian from another church. It's another trap that the devil can use, Pastor.
Imagine your wife, Chris, at that time, if she knew, right, that this Christian did this to you,
My goodness.
and you invite her to come to the church, right? Imagine, Chris.
Yeah.
Imagine. Imagine you say, "No, you're crazy. These people are
I don't want that.
hypocrites, right?
Yeah.
It's better for me to stay in the world." And that's what happened outside, right? Many people give bad testimony.
Yeah.
So that's when it started,
Yeah.
the whole thing.
And then I know that week, the day after that day that she kissed me, we end up in a motel, in a hotel there, having moments there together. And from that day on, I could feel that release. I had that moment as just relax a little bit, and then I came back to my life. And this relaxing, this funny, this moment that I had there, that pleasure,
An escape, right?
that
From
escape,
reality.
exactly. I was, as a drug, I was needing even more every day. Every time that we had a problem, I already I was thinking, I'm gonna call her. And she was married. She couldn't pick up my callings. She couldn't be there every time that I want. And I said, look how many women I have available. And I went out. I was going to bars, to nightclubs. I was going to pubs and flirting there and talk to a girl and end up in a motel, in a hotel, etc. And there will be a day, there was a day actually that a friend of mine, my work colleague, said to me, "My friend, I'm gonna show you something that you're never gonna forget." And I said, "What is it?" No, I'm not gonna tell you. And I went with him in his car, and he drove to a prostitute house, a nightclub, a girls' nightclub. And when I went there, I said, "No, I'm not gonna pay for sex. I'm so sorry. I don't need that." He said, "No, you don't. No, you're not gonna pay. I will pay for you."
Wow.
Yeah. And he paid the whole night for me, and I end up having sex with a prostitute, and after that day, Pastor, I couldn't go to the pubs anymore. I couldn't go to the normal places anymore. I didn't want the pleasure to go there and conquer a woman to have sex for free wasn't satisfying me anymore. I need to pay. That was how the spiritual environment, the devil works.
You see how the people start going deep, right?
It's like a drug, right? They start
Yeah.
with something small and then they start getting
Yeah.
stronger
And the
things.
same way the drug dealers, the first they give it for free, right?
Yes, Pastor.
The first dose of drug they give for free. No, try.
Yeah.
This one is free, right? And this is what the devil did through your friend. He paid the night for you. He paid the prostitute for you. No, you need to try this, right?
Yeah, and indeed, exactly.
And you got addicted to that,
Addicted.
right?
Every week.
Demons got a hold of you.
Yeah, and there in that place that he took me was a kind of expensive place. I was in that moment. I was already degreed. I had my degree, and I was working as a lawyer at the moment. So we have a financial condition to go to places that has kind of a standard there. And she was saving money to our marriage. She was saving money to our party or our wedding day. And I was telling her, look, we are kind of tight because I'm saving money as well. But indeed, I wasn't saving any money. I was paying for prostitution. And I end up broken, full of debts. And
Even though you were a lawyer,
yes, I was.
you had a degree, and this destroyed you.
Destroyed
This
me.
addiction of women,
Yeah.
prostitutes.
and
Prostitution.
alcohol as well. I start drinking there in that places. I start drink a lot alcohol. I start with whiskey, very expensive, and I was coming down until I end up in the nightclub there that was for free. You can come in for free. You don't need to pay. And I was end up in drinking there in Brazil. We call it cachaça, like
It's one of the cheapest
cheapest.
drinks. It's pure alcohol.
That's like spirit here. I don't know the names of the drinks here,
Mhm.
but it's pure alcohol. I end up there and then, Pastor, I saw myself living the life that my father was living when I was a child.
Drinking and prostitutes.
The same
Same thing.
the same thing. The same demon that was in his love life was in mine now. And obviously, I was hiding that from them just because I knew that they would get. I don't know. I didn't want to disappoint them. I didn't want to frustrate them.
Yeah.
I was hiding everything from her as well.
How long did you live this life?
About 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah. This whole process. The last year was the bottom of the pit that I was there in this kind of situation, broken and with addictive with sex, etc. But throughout 3 years, I was, as you said, going deeper and deeper. Every month was something different.
But for Chris and for your family, you were a good guy.
Yeah, I was saving money. I was investing, trying to get married quick, and every year we postponed our marriage 1 year. Let's do
For
it.
everyone, you were a prince. For Chris, you were a prince.
Yes.
You're still a prince.
No, that time I could see the signs.
What did you
So
see, Chris, in him?
He never drink, and
Mm.
he started having like the behaviors like
Habits too.
habits. Okay, like, I can drink this beer. I can drink this wine, and I said, wow, where he's learning that?
Mhm.
Because with me, I never saw.
I never saw that before, right?
Yeah,
Even for you who were from the world, it was kind of weird
yeah,
that he was drinking whatever would come in front of him.
yeah. So
Yeah.
he is completely different. The way that I met him now,
How about the cheating? Did you suspect of the cheating?
I suspect once, Pastor, when he had a friend, and his friend was betraying his girlfriend, and he was telling me that this thing was right.
and I was defending him.
And he was defending him. I said, "Oh, why?
Yeah.
Why are you defending him?"
Yeah, she got very upset because we
And
were.
I even shout, and I closed the door. I said, "Get out of here! I don't want you anymore."
Yeah. because we were talking, and I said, no worries, don't because I said, no.
So for you, it started to be something normal.
Normal, Pastor.
Even your values, you start losing them.
I lost completely. I had that moment, though I was living that terrible life, I had that moment as a relaxing moment. Was my hobby, Pastor. I that was my philosophy. I said, no, a true man can have some fun with his friends and a wife. It's not necessary to be faithful. That look, the faithfulness, I would say the pro of a relationship with God, I had despised, and I lost this principle.
And all those things that were inside started to show off.
Exactly.
Even though you're trying to hide, be a good guy, right? For your family who are in the church, these things come out,
Yeah.
right?
A comment she got from a comment. I said, no, come on, don't be too strict. No, every man, no, eventually will do that. And she said, no, not me.
Wow.
And
Even her being from the world had more standards than you. No.
yes, Pastor. Yes.
What a shame,
I
huh?
was too.
She that never came to the church,
I never cheated on him.
Yeah. She never cheated on me.
never cheated on you.
Yeah.
Wow. You see, friends, it's not even the topic of this program, but let's talk about spiritual life. Even when a person is in the church, Mila, but they are not born of God, they don't have a relationship, a true relationship, they are not sincere on the altar. They don't have the Holy Spirit. They can stay in the church for so much long that they end up even become hypocrites, right? Their standards, their values are worse than the people in the world. What I mean is, there are people in the world, they are more faithful than people in the church.
Yes, Pastor.
They have more standards, more values than people in the church, more principles. What happened to Chris, right? She never cheated on you. And you who knew it all, grew up in church. But because you were never sincere with God in a relationship, you were not born of God,
Yes.
look what you were doing, right? What a shame, right?
What a shame.
And the example also of your friend, female friend, who was married and Christian,
Yes.
and had a title in the church,
Yes.
that,
Was there. And afterwards, I figured out that I wasn't the only one there, that she was sleeping around.
wow.
Yeah.
That's why we need to be careful. Friends, it doesn't mean, singles, it doesn't mean that someone goes to church that they are prince or princess. Okay? It doesn't mean anything. That's why you need to really know the person, see the signs, the fruits. You need to test the spirit of the person. See if the person is really born of God, really has the Holy Spirit. Because there are people in the church who are deceivers.
Yes.
They are deceiving themselves, not God, not the devil. They're deceiving themselves and deceiving others as well.
And Pastor, one thing is, you are touching the point of the spiritual life. The moment is a good moment. I despise the altar that I knew, and I end up in this life that I'm talking about now. And she was investing in the wrong altar because she had her religion, and she was investing in her love life, doing offerings and
Really?
doing all that things that candles with honey,
Spiritual.
and put the name of the guy in the honey. Hey, my name was in the honey there. Yeah, she was investing in the wrong altar.
She had faith, but in the wrong altar.
Yes,
Yes.
Pastor.
And you knew the right altar,
I
but you had
despised.
the wrong faith.
Exactly, Pastor.
So neither would work, right?
Yes.
What was your religion before? What did you?
Catholic.
Spiritualist, Pastor. I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, all sort of things. You believe all sort of things.
Yeah. So I believed in a lot of things.
Witchcraft.
witchcraft,
Tarots,
tarot,
Horoscope,
palm readings,
palm reader,
palm readers,
cards.
everything related to love life. So actually, my altar was my love life.
So you had a lot of faith, but in
Yeah.
the wrong altar.
Yeah.
And you had the right altar, you knew the right one, and the wrong faith.
Yes.
Very powerful, very powerful. And you had these problems, and we need to finish the program, friends. So I guess you're gonna have to come back on Friday. Is that okay?
For sure, Pastor.
Yes?
It's a pleasure.
Pastor Philip, Chris, thank you so much for coming. So friends, may God bless you. Have a wonderful night. See you tomorrow in the Love Therapy at 8 p.m. Bye-bye.
The Love Talk Show on Liberty Radio.